Ever wondered why our planet, home to millions of species, is seemingly at the brink of a climate crisis? You're not alone. Today, we're going to delve into the all-consuming topic of climate change, a global issue of paramount importance. It's an undeniable reality that our planet is warming, with glaciers melting, sea levels rising, and weather patterns becoming increasingly unpredictable. The evidence is overwhelming, and the urgency of the situation is palpable. We're in a race against time, and it's a race we need to win for the sake of our future generations. Yet, in the face of such compelling evidence, there exists a faction of people who deny the existence and impact of climate change. They view it as a hoax, a fabrication, a myth. This denial, often rooted in misinformation and misconceptions, hinders our collective action towards mitigating the effects of climate change. So, why do some people believe climate change is a hoax? Let's debunk some myths. Myth 1. Climate change is a natural process, and humans have no role in it. Is this true? To answer this question, let's first understand the difference between natural climate variability and human-induced climate change. Natural climate variability, as the term suggests, refers to changes in climate that occur due to natural factors, such as volcanic eruptions, ocean currents, and changes in the Earth's orbit. These changes occur over thousands or even millions of years. On the other hand, human-induced climate change, also known as anthropogenic climate change, refers to changes in the climate system resulting from human activities. These activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, have led to an increase in greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere. What's important to note here is the pace of change. While natural climate variability happens slowly over millennia, human-induced climate change has occurred at an unprecedented rate over the past century. Consider this. Data from ice cores reveal that the Earth's climate has changed naturally over the past 800,000 years, with carbon dioxide levels ranging between 180 and 300 parts per million. But in the last 200 years, since the Industrial Revolution, carbon dioxide levels have skyrocketed to over 400 parts per million. That's a rate of increase that is more than 100 times faster than anything the Earth has seen for at least the last 800,000 years. In essence, while climate change can occur naturally, the current rapid warming of our planet cannot be explained by natural factors alone. Scientific evidence overwhelmingly supports the fact that human activities are the primary drivers of the recent climatic changes we are witnessing. So, to answer the question, yes, climate change can be a natural process. But the climate change we're experiencing now, that's largely on us. Now that we've debunked this myth, let's move on to the next common misconception. Myth 2. There's no consensus among scientists about climate change, but is this claim valid? Let's dive into the facts. Multiple studies have shown that over 97% of actively publishing climate scientists agree. Climate warming trends over the past century are extremely likely due to human activities. This isn't a marginal majority, folks. It's an overwhelming consensus. Scientific bodies of national and international standing have echoed this sentiment. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the National Academy of Sciences, and the World Meteorological Organization, to name just a few, all concur that human activities are driving climate change. But how has this myth of disagreement among scientists gained traction? Well, it's often used as a tactic to sow doubt and confusion. By suggesting that the scientific community is divided on the issue, climate change skeptics create the illusion of a debate where there is none. This strategy is not new. It has been used in the past to cast doubt on the dangers of smoking, for instance. The truth is, scientific consensus on climate change is as strong as the consensus on the theory of gravity. In fact, it's one of the most agreed upon concepts in the scientific community. Yet, the myth persists. Why does this matter? Because understanding the consensus among scientists is a crucial step in acknowledging the reality of human-caused climate change. It's the foundation upon which we can start to discuss solutions and actions. So, when you hear someone claiming that there's no consensus among scientists about climate change, remind them of the overwhelming evidence. Point them to the numerous studies, the statements from reputable scientific organizations, and the 97% of climate scientists who agree on the human role in climate change. As we can see, this myth doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Ready for the next one? Myth 3. Climate change won't affect me. But is this really the case? Let's think about this for a moment. The Earth is our shared home, a delicately balanced ecosystem where everything is interlinked. When one part of this ecosystem is disrupted, it sends ripples across the globe. That's exactly what's happening with climate change. Firstly, let's talk about extreme weather events. They're becoming more frequent and severe due to climate change. Hurricanes, heat waves, wildfires, floods. These aren't just headlines, they're real events impacting real people's lives. They can destroy homes, devastate communities, and even claim lives. And it's not just those in the direct path of these disasters who feel the impact. These events disrupt global supply chains, affecting the availability and price of goods worldwide. Next, consider food and water scarcity. As temperatures rise and rainfall patterns shift, our ability to grow food and access fresh water is compromised. Crops fail, rivers dry up. These aren't distant threats, they're happening now, and they affect us all. From rising food prices at your local supermarket to water rationing in drought-stricken regions, climate change is making its presence felt. And here's another thing to ponder. Climate change is a threat multiplier. It exacerbates existing social, economic, and political tensions. It can lead to displacement of people, ignite conflicts, and destabilize regions. So even if you're sitting comfortably thousands of miles away, the global repercussions of climate change can reach your doorstep. Let's not forget, climate change also threatens the natural world we love and rely on. The beautiful coral reefs, the majestic polar ice caps, the lush rainforests, they're all at risk. And with them, the countless species they harbor and the invaluable services they provide, from oxygen production to carbon sequestration. Clearly, climate change is not a distant problem. It's here, and it's affecting us all. We've debunked some common myths about climate change, so what can you do with this knowledge? The power of knowledge lies in its ability to enlighten and inspire action. Climate change is not just a theory, it's a reality that we are facing, made apparent by the scientific consensus and the visible changes in our environment. Education plays a pivotal role in combating misinformation, fostering understanding, and promoting action. When you arm yourself with credible information, you become a beacon of truth in a sea of misinformation. By sharing what you've learned, you can help to dispel the misconceptions that fuel climate change denial. Staying informed about the latest scientific findings is not just about being up to date, it's about being part of the solution. It's about understanding the challenges we face and the measures we can take to mitigate them. Remember, knowledge is power. Use it to make a difference in the fight against climate change. Now that we've armed ourselves with facts, it's time to act. We've dived deep into the myths and misconceptions surrounding climate change, and we've brought to light the truth that it's a pressing issue, not a distant threat. We've debunked the fallacies and shown that the consensus among scientists is clear. But knowledge, while powerful, is only the beginning. It's what we do with that knowledge that truly counts. Think of it this way. Every one of us has a carbon footprint. It's the mark we leave on the world through our daily actions, from the energy we use to the waste we produce. It might seem like a small thing, but when you multiply that footprint by the billions of people on our planet, it adds up. So what can we do? We can start by reducing our own carbon footprints. We can use energy-efficient appliances, recycle more, and opt for public transportation or carpooling whenever possible. We can make conscious choices about what we consume and how we consume it. Even little changes like these can have a big impact over time, but individual action isn't enough. We also need to advocate for climate policies. We need laws and regulations that promote sustainable practices and discourage harmful ones. We need our governments and corporations to prioritize the planet over profits. And for that to happen, we need to make our voices heard. Remember, there's power in numbers. When we band together, we can create change on a scale that's impossible to achieve alone. So let's use our knowledge as a tool for action. Let's start conversations, let's challenge the status quo, and let's push for a healthier, more sustainable world. Don't keep this information to yourself. Share it, discuss it, and let's educate others about climate change. Together we can make a difference.